Life doesn't just happen to you, every single step is a choice. And sometimes it feels like the universe stands still, handing you two roads that split right in front of you. One looks safe, predictable, familiar. The other, uncertain, maybe even terrifying. But here's the truth. The road you pick defines not just where you go, but who you become. Think about it. Every major shift in your life started with a decision. The partner you stayed with or the one you walked away from. The job you accepted or the dream you finally chased. At the time, it might have felt small, almost invisible. But those choices, they shaped your destiny in ways you couldn't see. The problem is, most people don't even realize they're standing at that crossroads until it's too late. They keep walking the safe road, not because it's right, but because it's easy. And later, they wonder why life feels empty, why they feel trapped. They forget that freedom isn't given, it's taken through courage, through direction, through the willingness to accept consequences. So let me ask you, right now in this moment, which road are you on? Are you drifting down the one that feels comfortable, avoiding risk, avoiding pain? Or are you standing on the edge of something greater with the courage to take the road that scares you? Because here's the paradox. The road that scares you most is usually the one that will set you free. Freedom doesn't come from avoiding the storm. Freedom comes from walking straight through it, knowing you might get knocked down, but also knowing you'll never be the same again. And that's why this choice matters. It's not just about direction, it's about destiny. The decision you make today could be the one that changes everything. The real question is, will you take the road that makes you safe or the one that makes you alive? Most people underestimate the silent weight of indecision. They tell themselves they'll decide tomorrow. But tomorrow piles up into years, and suddenly they've built a life on choices they never really made. That's the trap of the comfortable road. It doesn't demand a clear yes or no. It just quietly drains your time, your energy, and your purpose. And here's the brutal truth. Not choosing is still a choice. If you don't decide, life decides for you. And when that happens, you're no longer living your just reacting, waiting for circumstances to tell you where to go. That's how dreams die, not with one big failure, but with 1,000 tiny surrenders. But there's another way, the harder road, the one that feels heavier, scarier, even lonelier at first. This road demands courage because it forces you to face the unknown. It asks you to take responsibility for every step. And responsibility, that's the real cost of freedom. You can't rewrite your past, but you can always redirect your future. The question is whether you're willing to live with the temporary pain of uncertainty to unlock the lasting reward of destiny. Every choice carries a consequence. The easy road costs you growth. The hard road costs you comfort. But one of those costs builds your life and the other steals it. Think of the moments in history, in stories, even in your own past when everything shifted. It was never because someone avoided the risk. It was always because someone dared to step into it. Courage is not about removing fear, it's about moving anyway, carrying fear on your back until it loses its power. So again, I'll ask you, what's the road you're walking right now costing you? Not just today, but 5 years from now, 10 years, because whether you know it or not, you're already paying a price. The only question is whether that price leads you toward your destiny or chains you to regret. Imagine two people standing at the same crossroads. One takes the safe road, the other takes the unknown. 10 years later, their lives don't just look different, they feel different. The one who stayed safe probably has stability. They avoided risk, avoided failure, maybe even avoided heartbreak. But along the way, they also avoided growth. Their story reads like a script written by someone else, predictable, flat, uninspired. They wake up each day with the quiet weight of wondering what could have been. The other person, they stumble. They face nights of doubt, doors slammed in their face, and moments when it seemed easier to turn back. But they kept walking the harder road. And because of that, they discovered strength they never knew they had. They gained clarity that only comes when you fight through confusion. They unlocked freedom, the kind you can't buy, only earn. That's the reality. The safe road may protect you from pain, but it also shields you from purpose. The hard road exposes you. It strips you bare. But in that exposure, you discover the core of who you really are. Look back at your own life. Think about the moments you're proudest of. Were they born out of comfort? Or did they come from the times you stood at a crossroad, trembling, and chose the road that scared you? Because the truth is, every person who ever inspired you, every story you've ever admired comes from that choice. The choice to take the road where courage was required. The road where failure was possible. The road that carved destiny out of dust. And here's the catch, those crossroads never stop coming. Life keeps testing you, giving you the chance to prove whether you're walking awake or sleepwalking through your own potential. So let me ask you again more directly, when the next crossroad arrives, will you recognize it? Or will you let fear disguise it as not the right time? Here's something most people won't admit. Fear is not the real enemy. Fear is just a loudspeaker. The real enemy is the voice inside you that listens to it, that gives fear permission to steer your life. Fear whispers, don't take the risk, don't change, don't stand up. And if you listen long enough, fear convinces you that safety is survival. But here's the brutal truth, safety is slow death. Every time you let fear decide, you shrink. And every time you shrink, you lose a piece of the destiny you were meant to claim. That's why courage matters. Not because it feels good, but because it cuts through the illusion. Courage doesn't erase fear, it exposes it. It says, I hear you, but you don't control me. And when you act from courage, you stop living on autopilot and start living with intention. Think about the two roads again. One road is lined with comfort, routine, and the illusion of control. The other road is rough, unpredictable, and sometimes lonely. But only one road forces you to discover who you really are. Here's the paradox: the rougher the road, the freer the traveler becomes. Every person alive has a breaking point, a place where the weight of choice feels unbearable. That's why most people avoid it. They numb themselves with distraction, with routine, with excuses. But here's the thing, if you can endure that breaking point, if you can carry yourself through it, something extraordinary happens. You break open instead of breaking down. That's the secret. The hard road doesn't destroy you, it rebuilds you. It strips away what was never meant to last, and it reveals the part of you that's indestructible. And once you see that part of yourself, once you experience that kind of power, you'll never go back to living small. So, the next time you stand at the crossroads, remember, you're not just choosing a direction, you're choosing the kind of person you're becoming. Safe, predictable, and untested, or alive, courageous, and free. At the end of the day, every human being is faced with the same truth. Life is a series of crossroads. And no matter how much you wish you could avoid them, you can't. You will have to choose, safe or brave, comfort or freedom, survival or destiny. And here's what I need you to hear: your life does not change when the road splits. Your life changes when you decide. That one moment when your chest is tight, your hands are shaking, and every part of you wants to retreat, but you take a step forward anyway. That's the exact second your future shifts forever. You've probably been standing at a crossroads before. Maybe you're at one right now. You felt a pull, one road whispering, stay here, don't risk it, don't change. And the other road, the one that scares you, whispering, step forward, trust it, live. That's the road that builds your destiny. That's the road that awakens the person you were meant to be. Because in the end, courage is not about being fearless. Courage is about choosing freedom even when fear is screaming in your ear. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you'll look back at this season of your life. And the question you'll ask yourself won't be, was it easy? It will be, was I brave? So as you stand at your crossroads, remember this: destiny doesn't come to the one who waits. It comes to the one who dares. And if you're ready to keep walking the courageous road, then I've got something for you. Watch our next video, Why Courage Fuels Growth Daily Motivation. Because courage isn't just a choice, it's the fuel for every leap forward in life, in mindset, in personal growth. This is Wisdom Recorder, your knowledge source. If this message spoke to you, don't just walk away, take action. Hit subscribe, like this video, and keep feeding your courage every single day. Because the road is waiting. The only question is, which one will you choose?